Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Make More Placement podcast. Today we're going to be talking about why most recruitment and search business owners struggle to win new clients and how to make sure not one of them part two. So we've done part one a few weeks ago and covered 5 things there. We're going to do another 5 today on why most recruitment and search business owners struggle to win new clients and how to make sure you're not one of them. So if you're a recruitment or search business owner and you want to win more clients, this is the place to be. And before we sort of dive into the main content, I just want to remind you that this podcast is sponsored by Placement Box. That's placementbox.io. Placement Box is the world's leading AI-powered client attraction tool built specifically for recruitment, staffing, and executive search business owners. And it's packed full of purpose-built client attraction tools ready to plug and play in your business so you can start attracting more clients the very same day that you sign up, right? So this is a tool that we recommend to all of our clients. We actually use it in our own business as well. Placementbox.io, where you can go and get access to that. I'm actually giving a free, I think it's a 30-day free trial at the moment as well. So that's placementbox.io. Okay, cool. Look, let's dive right in. Again, if you're listening to this live in the Make More Placements Facebook community, type the word live in the comments, or if you listen to the replay, what type of replay as well, just help the algorithm, help us get more people to see this episode. Again, if you're listening anywhere else, so iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, whatever, remember to like and subscribe as well so you get updated on future episodes. But cool, let's dive right in. Why most recruitment and search business owners struggle to win new clients and how to make sure you're not one of them, part 2. Before we get into that, I'm just gonna quickly recap on what we covered in part 1. Again, I would recommend, if you haven't listened to that, I recommend go back and listen to that as well, just so you're updated. So number one reason is you're going after prospects who are hiring right now and neglecting relationships with future hiring managers or hiring managers hiring in the future. 2 is not spending enough time, effort, energy, or resources on business development. 3 is no documented marketing process. 4 is no predictable way to bring in clients. 5 was no sales process. So look, let's dive right into number 6, right? Number 6 is not asking for the business. The sixth reason that you're struggling to win clients right now and what you can do about it is not asking for the business. Terry, can you explain what we mean by that? I guess some of the implications and what we can do to turn things around.
Yeah, sure. So one of the biggest fears that all humans have is the fear of rejection. Nobody wants to be rejected. That's a fact. And it's a big fear for most people as well. As a consequence, what often happens with recruiters is they can get into a meeting with a hiring manager. They can talk about how long they've been in business and what their mission statement is and how they find the top candidates. The client politely listens to everything that the recruiter has to say. The client thanks the recruiter for their business. They part company, and that's it. There was one question they didn't ask. Can I have the business? But they didn't ask for the business because of this fear of rejection. So because they have this fear of rejection, unconsciously what you're thinking, if I don't ask for the business, I'm not going to get rejected. What we know is, though, that those individuals that can overcome that fear or embrace rejection, that's another key as well, by the way. If you acknowledge that most of your marketing, most of the sales pitches you do are not going to be successful, but for every rejection you get, it's going to take you closer to getting a yes. And so that encourages you then to embrace the rejection, the more successful you're going to be. The recruiters that have that mindset tend to enjoy more success because they ask for the business. It's just really simple as that. They're okay with the rejection. If they get the rejection, they will try and win it back. If they don't, hey, listen, that's cool. Let's shake hands as part as friends and on to the next. That's, to me, is one of the biggest challenges that all recruiters of all levels have, is this not asking for the business because of fear of rejection. Does that make sense, Drew?
Yeah, it does. And I just want to add to that as well, right? It's not, it goes deeper than that. Okay, it's not just asking for the business, right? What we find as well is that a lot of recruiters, even the ones who are asking for the business, once they get over that first hurdle, they're not asking for it on the terms they actually want. Right, so you speak to so many recruitment and search business owners, and they're not really getting the fee they want for their services. And they say what they'll tell you is that my clients won't really pay a higher fee, or my clients don't do it that way, or they're not winning retainers, they're not winning exclusives. And I say that my clients, my clients aren't willing to pay exclusives, or go down the exclusive route, or go down the retained route, or they're not willing to do it on these terms or these terms, right? And then when we review a lot of sales calls for our clients, and a lot of sales calls for people that speak to us for help. When you listen to it, one of the biggest reasons is they're simply just not asking. Like, they're not asking for the fee they actually want, and they're just accepting what the client tells them. They're not asking for the terms they want, and they're accepting what the client gives them. They're not asking for retained. They're not asking for exclusives. If you don't ask, you do not get. right? And this goes from actually winning the business in the first place, but also winning the business on the terms you want. Payment
Yeah,
terms.
that's a really good point there, Drew.
Was there anything to add to that, Terry?
Oh, yeah, I think it's a great point you've asked there. It's not just asking about business, it's asking for all those things. And here's another common one where you sometimes hear recruiters say things like, the client says, what are your fees? And the recruiter says, we normally charge 25%. Saying you normally charge 25% indicates that you're willing to negotiate, and you're kind of already giving it away. But there's this discomfort of asking for the fee that you believe you deserve, because you believe at some level, if you ask for the fee that you believe you deserve, you're not going to get the business. So, yeah, great point there, Drew. And I think the other one you mentioned about getting business on retained or exclusive or whatever. A lot of potential clients that we speak to, recruiters say, my clients don't work on retained, they don't work exclusively. And I always ask the question, how do you know? They say, well, I never get any business on the retained basis. My next question is, when was the last time you asked for retained? In the majority of cases, most recruiters have never even asked for retained. I've got some news for you. If you don't even ask for it, your chances of getting retained or getting higher fees or getting the business are pretty slim. There's a saying, isn't there? If you don't ask, you don't want. It's really as simple as that. So, yes, really good points that you're adding on there, Drew. Thanks for that. Excellent.
Awesome. So number 6, not asking for the business, not asking for the business on terms you want, right? Number 7 is thinking that they know it already, right? Thinking they know it already. And what I mean by this is you get some, and funny enough, it's often recruiters with less experience who say this. They'll ignore something that you get people ignoring this podcast, right? Because they've got 5 years experience and they think they know every reason they're already. They ignore advice, they ignore outside sources because they think they've got so much experience that no one can teach me anything, right? And I won't say the words "no one can teach me anything," but we'll speak to recruiters and they'll say, "Look, Terry, I've been doing this for 5 years now. What can you teach me about winning business? Or I've been doing this for 3 years now. What can you teach me about winning business?" And it's thinking that they know it already. What you do is you close your mind off to learning and experiencing new things. Terry, anything you want to add to that? I guess in terms of some of the implications.
Yeah, I actually have an example of that. Potential client said, Terry, thanks for offering me that free training, but I've been doing this for nearly 14 months now, and I'm confident that there's nothing more that I can learn about recruitment. And you kind of just nod your head in despair. Psychologists found there are 2 types of individuals. There's individuals they're called fixed mindset. So they have that kind of conversation. The mind is quite fixed. There is nothing more that I need to learn. I kind of know it all. I'm good, thanks. Or and they have this fixed mindset and as a consequence of which their mind never expands, because they say this is it. This is as good as it gets in terms of the recruitment world, as an example. Then you have those individuals, psychologists call growth mindset. Now, these individuals could have, I have nearly 30 years experience. And I can honestly say, probably every week I learn something new about recruitment, without a doubt. People with a growth mindset acknowledge that there's always a possibility there are things that could be done better, quicker, faster, or whatever, and are open to the realms of possibility that is the case. So they have this growth mindset, and those individuals, guess what? They tend to grow more so than those with a fixed mindset that believe this is it. What I've learned in the last 14 months is all there is to know. So thank you very much, but I don't need to learn anymore. And I know you, as you're listening to that, you're thinking that's unbelievable that people can think like that. I promise you, I talk to people like that at least twice a week. Somebody will say something along those lines. I've been doing this for 2 years. What can you teach me? That's a nonsense. Yeah, but it does happen with a fixed mindset.
Yeah, and I think probably we all do it. So I think we probably all do it at some level in some areas of our life where we make assumptions about the results we'll get or won't get, right? So we'll look at something like the things that you're doing or not doing in your business right now because you've assumed they won't work. And you could just be asking for the fee, like going back to number 6. It could be that we charge 25%. We're not asking for 30% because we already know somehow that our clients won't pay that, right? And it just again, like Terry said, growth mindset. Business really is about constantly testing, measuring, and improving, right? You're going to do some things that don't work, and you'll be right. Maybe you think they don't work, you try it, and it doesn't work. But there's going to be things that you think don't work that you try, and they get great results, right? Probably if you look at everything in your business right now, no matter where you got it from, there was a time where someone said it didn't work, right? Someone said that won't work in recruitment, or that won't work with my clients, right? And then what's happened is someone's tested it, tried it, and it has worked, right? And I think there's so many things that we overlook or ignore where we think we already know the outcome. We think we know it's not going to work, or we think this is the best way to do something, and we close our mind off to learning, discovering, or experiencing new and better ways. Terry, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, it reminds me of the story that I'm sure everybody's heard of when Netflix was first formed, and they went to the big video distributors, Blockbuster, with this idea of, rather than hiring out the videos, why don't we stream all the content down to our potential clients? And the board of directors laughed at the thought that such a thing can be done. Blockbuster doesn't exist anymore, and Netflix dominate the market, all because of that fixed mindset, all because they thought that can't be done. You know, we've been doing this for years, Blockbusters. It's always been done this way, so that's the way we're going to keep doing it. The rest, they say, is history because of that fixed mindset.
100%. So that brings on to number 8. Sorry.
Go on.
That brings on to number 8, which is linked to number 7, right? And again, you probably get this more often. And again, it's something that we've done in our business, like, wrongly, and you're probably doing it right now. Is thinking that, seeing something, hearing something, even though you've seen it work for somebody else or work somewhere else in a different sector, maybe, but you're thinking that won't work in my business, or that won't work in my sector. And this could be down to the way business development, the way you market and promote your business, could be down to the way you sell the service itself, could be down to the delivery of your service. Is that, again, it comes down to making assumptions, right? Or thinking they know already, right? But it's, sector specific, the way you look at something. And maybe it's like email marketing, and that won't work with my clients, or my clients don't respond to LinkedIn messages, or my clients don't respond to cold calls. It could be anything, right? But you're thinking that that won't work in my sector, that won't work in my business. Is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I remember Coach talking to us and saying, because look, full disclosure, we've said that as well. Yeah, but that won't work in our business. But Coach said to us, he said, your opinion doesn't actually matter. Neither does mine as a coach. All that matters are the results of the test. So I get that you think it's not going to work, but that is your personal opinion. What I suggest you do is test it, and then base your opinion on the results of the test that you carry out, rather than you saying, yeah, but my market's different and that won't work. How do you know? Because I just don't think it will work, rather than being based on any evidence whatsoever.
Yeah.
So that was a key breakthrough for us as business owners, just adopting that attitude as well. Actually, we don't know, so why don't we do what's been recommended and then test the results and then form your opinion on the results that you get, rather than on the personal opinion that that's not going to work, whatever that is. As Drew said, email marketing, IFEs. I mean, we could go on and on, all the things that we've heard. Facebook, you can't use Facebook for marketing for clients at my level, because my clients are sophisticated, aren't on Facebook. That isn't true, but again, don't take my word for it. Test it and see for yourself. Yeah, great point there, Drew.
Awesome. So number 9 is not optimizing what's already working. So number 9 is not optimizing what's already working. So again, what we mean by this, if you've been in business even a short amount of time, or you've been in this industry a short amount of time, you'll have at least some process that works, right, for getting clients, for doing anything, right? It could be delivery, could be business development, could be sales. You have some process that works, right? So again, obviously, look, we speak to a lot of recruitment and service owners who reach out to us for help with their, bringing clients into their business, or specifically bringing exclusive retained clients, right, high quality clients into the business. And often, what on the call, we'll ask them, okay, what are you doing at the moment? What do you do to bring clients in? And they'll walk you through their process or what they're doing right now. And then another question we ask is like, okay, how long have you been doing this for? And you'll find that people are stuck doing the exact same process they were doing 20 years ago, 30 years ago in some cases, right, or even 5 years ago. And again, I'm not saying that you need to throw everything in a bin, but part of business growth, part of improvement is looking for ways we can optimize things. So there'll be things that are already working in your business, working well. Sometimes there's a temptation to, if it's not broken, don't try and fix it, or if it's working, just leave it alone, right? And again, there's a time and place for that, but there's also a time and place for, okay, it is working, but what can we do to improve it? How can we make it work even better than it is already now, to improve that function, to improve the amount of clients we're bringing in, improve the amount of leads we're generating? Terry, anything you'd add to that?
Yeah, a couple of examples. The average contingent recruiter will fill between 20 to 40% of the roles that they work on. let's say it's 30%, just for sake of this conversation. One of the things you could optimize there, if you were to get your fill rate up to 60%, you would literally double your revenue just like that, with no additional cost, simply by optimizing your fill rate. Another one we sometimes hear is, I send out, I don't know, 500 emails, and I only get 2 inquiries. Or let's say I get 10 inquiries, and one that leads to a piece of business that we deliver on. Again, about optimization, it would be worth, if you sent for every 500 emails, you get 1 job order that you deliver on. What it suggested, if you just send out twice as many emails, you get twice as many opportunities, and you'd fill twice as many roles. Same whether you're, calling. If you're cold calling at the moment, if you were to test that against, rather than cold calling, but have some sort of marketing process in place, so that rather than cold calling, you optimize your call time by only calling people that know who you are. Again, it's all about optimizing, but as Drew said, not saying to throw it out with the bathwater, but it's worth testing these things and seeing how you can improve or optimize what you're doing right now. For many people, you're kind of sitting on the gold mine. If you're sending out emails and you're getting the response, look at optimizing it. Look at sending out even more emails. Sure, you're going to get more rejections, but you're also going to get more positive responses as well. Whatever it is you're doing, it's always worth, if you're getting the results that you want more of that, optimize it to improve on those results. Thanks, Drew.
Awesome. So, and then number 10, in fact, let me just recap on the other before we go to number 10. So number 6 is not asking for the business. Number 7, thinking they already know or know that already. Number 8 is saying that won't work in my sector or that won't work in my industry. Number 9 is not optimizing what's already working. And number 10 is relying on one or few methods for bringing in clients. So relying on one or few methods for bringing in clients. And again, it's something that we hear quite a lot. But Terry, again, can you explain what we mean by that? And I guess some of the implications that we see happening in the recruitment and search business owners that we speak to.
Yeah, so bearing in mind that we're talking to recruitment and search business owners literally every day of the week, 5 days a week, without that, and when you talk to recruiters, they use probably 3 or 4 methods for getting business: word of mouth, network, referrals, and NPCs, or marking out the candidate, most placeable candidates, where you market out a candidate to potential clients. I want to be clear about it. All those methods work, and you'll get some business. But again, think about it. If you're using 4 methods for getting inquiries and getting leads, but your competitors using 34, it was, you wouldn't be surprised to hear that they're enjoying more success than you. And it's not because they're better recruiters than you. It's simply because they're using different methods. So if you're using 4 methods and they're using, I say, 34, already they've got an advantage over you.
Yeah.
So it is about, not optimizing. It is about using different methods rather than relying on those few methods and what people then say, well, we've always done it this way and this method's worked. And I get that. But if you want to grow, if that's what you really want to do, and 99% of recruiters that we talk to, they want to grow their business, you're going to have to use other methods rather than relying on those few methods, such as word of mouth, referrals, networking, and marketing out candidates. So yeah, find other methods, and there are many other methods that you can use for getting in front of a hiring manager who's looking to engage a recruiter. So yeah, use some of those as well. Anything to add to that, Drew?
Yeah, and I think just the other thing to add is that the more methods that you use, the more stable your business development is as well, right? So I think no matter how you win business at the moment, right, whether it's referrals, cold calling, whatever, I think sometimes what can happen in any given month is that it's not as effective that month, right? So maybe cold calling just doesn't work well that month, or you don't get as many referrals that one month as you do normally. When you're just relying on referrals, when you get less referrals that month, it hurts, right? You're dropping business. When you have multiple methods, even when one's not working, the others usually are, right? So you tend to even out and build a more steady and consistent lead flow into your business, and obviously clients come off the back of that as well. The other thing to add, and I think one of the keys to growing your client attraction process, to having more consistent clients coming in, higher quality clients, is if you combine the things that we spoke about today, where we have a method that works, right? Let's say you've got a method that works in your business right now, of bringing in inquiries, bringing in leads, bringing in clients, right? We look for ways to optimize that and improve it. All right, so make it work even better. Now going back to number 9 that we covered. So we're making it work every month. We're looking at ways we can improve it, make it work even better. We then want to get to the point where, going back to the first session we did in this, we have a documented process, right? So we've documented why it works. Step 1's this, step 2's this, step 3's this. It's documented to the point where we can actually give it to somebody else to do, right? So we outsource it either with or automate it either with technology. So we get, we can maybe if it's email, we can automate that process so it's happening in the background without taking our personal labor, or we hire somebody to do that process manually for us, right? Once we've done that, we've got more time to add another method to the business, right? And that's really how you grow and build a client attraction process, right? We have one method, automate it, outsource it, then we move to method number 2, automate it, outsource it. Again, every time we're doing that, we're buying back time for ourselves, and we can add another method, right? And that's really the key to, all the clients we work with, all the recruitment and search personas we work with who really master client attraction, is that's what they do, right? They get a method, optimize it, and then get it off their plate so it's not them doing it. I think, one of the reasons that you're probably stuck now, not being able to get better at winning clients, isn't necessarily because you don't have a method that works, isn't necessarily because you're not even optimize it, but you need to get it off your plate to buy back your time so you can add another one, right? So anything you want to add to that before we wrap up?
No, I think you've really hit the nail on the head there, and covered that off really well. And what I say to everybody that we say all the time, the key now is just taking action. We've shared this information with you. As I said earlier, don't take our word for it. Go and test it for yourself, and let's know how you got on. But what we know is that the more those individuals that take action on some of the things that they discover are the ones that are going to get the best results. So that's the key here, that you implement some of the things that we've shared with you today.
Awesome. So thanks a lot for listening. Again, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you share it with anyone you know who could also benefit. And if you want to get more clients in your recruitment search business, you go to makemoreplacements.com/clients now. There's a short video that explains, a bit more about what we do and how we may be able to help. That's makemoreplacements.com/clients now. So we'll speak with you next week. Until then, take care, take action, and be relentless.